Hello, friends from the comic and manga world. My name is Hector,
And my name is G.
and we're here to talk to you about our picks for the August 19th FOC. G and I work for Penguin Random House, so all the titles that we talk about in these videos are from publishers that we represent around the world. Also, note that we're on social media. You can find us on X, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and also obviously YouTube. You can find us under at PRH International Comics. And without further ado, let's get going. First pick is one of my picks. This is the X-Men #4 Mark Aspinall variant 1 in 25. This is amazing art of Juggernaut just hanging out after he probably destroyed everything on there. Although it looks like it's a cell, and just sitting on top of a sentinel's head, as people do. I love how I love the concept of this. I love how buff, obviously, Juggernaut looks, but also he is relaxed, which is very rare for Juggernaut. But I also love that there's all this destruction in the head of the Sentinel, post fight probably, but there's nothingness in the background, and the logo really stands out there. The X-Men logo, very cool. Mark Ospinall obviously is amazing artist. His art, it's always very realistic. It looks, it has this feeling and this look that you have here, with a lot of texture on it. I have several of his covers. I'm a fan. And that's it for this one.
hmm Uh, Next up, I'm waiting for it
At
to go.
some any
There
minute.
we
There we
go.
go.
We have Werewolf by Night. This is the Red Band edition, issue number 2. This is polybagged, of course, because it's the Red Band, and this is a David Mack variant, 1 in 25 ratio. And I have to show off my issue 1 that is already out
Yay.
that I got and read. Very much enjoyed. And we have Jack and Elsa in a very romantic embrace. Very beautifully illustrated, of course, as always, by David Mack. Very much his style. And yeah, I just had to show this off because it's cool. Love it. And yes.
Yes. And at some point, we continue with My Little Pony: The Storm of Zephyr Heights, #1, cover A by Juniper. Oh, such a beautiful cover. And I forget the name of this pony. I forget. I'm so sorry. I used to know the names of all the ponies, but it's the white one with the Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Dash. Thank you. Thank you, Head, for thinking of it. And it's a beautiful art of Rainbow Dash flying up to the sky in a very, if you follow Johnny Ba's art, you know that this is very typical of him, and it's so much his style. I actually have a cover from a Star Trek comic that I believe came out last year, where he did something similar, but with the Enterprise flying up into the clouds. So it's yeah, I feel like it's an homage to something else, both of them, but it's very beautiful, very cool. You see all the lines and the sort of representing wind and clouds in there, and the dash from Rainbow Dash behind her as she flies up into the sky. Very, very cool cover. I really love this one.
Mhm. Okay, and then next up we have Storm, issue number 1, Mateus
Yeah.
Bennett. I'm so sorry.
Manhanini.
There we go.
Manhanini? Yeah,
And then
I think so.
I'm gonna I'm gonna pause because
Okay.
I don't know if I can do it today.
Mateus.
I apologize. But
Yes.
Mateus, yes, very beautiful art. I had to choose. It's just something about I like how bright it is, because when you think of
Yeah.
like the lightning and the dark clouds, you don't often think of like you think of like a gray sky, but just to see the beautiful like sun in the background, like
Hmm.
centering our superhero in the center of the cover is just bright and beautiful and like striking. Just
Yeah.
definitely re-striking on the shelves. So it's just very beautiful and yes, I already pulled it. So had to include this.
Yes. And we continue with Guild Frame number 2, cover A by Matt Kent, who is also co-writer together with Margie Kraft Kent, and also the illustrator for this, Matt Kent. Um, this is a Dark Horse original title. Is a classic whodunit murder mystery that spans the globe from Paris to Hawaii to Montenegro as we hustle to keep up with the most unlikely murder solving duo in the history of murder solvers. And it's the best detective in France is on the case. And, I love all these stories. And I love this cover. You see the murder there, you see the scene of the crime, you see lots and lots of a clutter of things that all could be clues. You even have a puppy, which I don't know if it's real, but there's a puppy there. And it reminds me, my first thought right off the bat, it wasn't a book, it wasn't anything. It was those games where you have to like find hidden things. That's what it looks like to me. But also, it is a very much a classic sort of crime scene with a lot of things to look through. I love the realism on this. I love how it is just that, a shot of the crime scene, but there's tons and tons and tons of details in it. And I love the premise for this book. It's a book that I'm looking forward to. I haven't caught up on it. I haven't read number one yet, but it's a book that I definitely want to get into for
I
sure.
like how the issue one is in a frame in the like you
Oh,
see it
you
in the
always notice
background.
things. I didn't even notice that. I know there was art there, but I
That's
didn't realize
I
there
just
was
love
issue
it.
one. Yeah,
It's
I
issue
love it
one
even
within
more
issue two.
now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. A
I
frame
can
within a
count on
frame.
G to find the hidden things and covers. I love it. All right.
And speaking of which, I also picked there you go. Where Monsters Lie. This is Where Monsters Lie's Cul-de-sac, issue one. Pietro Kowalski. Uh, I'm so sorry. I have to look it up the pronunciations beforehand. But I chose this because it's like a gated community for slashers, new cast of these like horrific monsters. It's basically a return to the world of Where Monsters Lie, again with a new cast, and then this will be a 4 issue miniseries, very harrowing and yet colorful cover. There's a theme here. I just like the bright colors of
Yeah.
these covers. So yes, for
Mhm.
fans of Where Monsters Lie, this is another one for you to pick up.
Yes. And now we have
Oh,
some news.
yes, for news. So, IDW had announced these new upcoming artist edition.
Edition.
There we go.
Yep.
And then this first one here is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles layouts by Kevin Eastman. Now, most people who collect the artist editions are very familiar with the concept, but if you aren't aware, artist editions are really meant to like basically scanning the originals as is in like a high resolution like photos and printing it out for fans to see like the creative process for like iconic legendary creators such as Kevin Eastman here. So we have this one coming up and they also announced these two, Jack Kirby's The Eternals, Pencils and Inks Artisan Edition, Um, Basically, what's cool about this, I'll include like side-by-side presentation of like the restored copies of Jack Kirby's pencils next to the finished inks scanned from the original arts. And then we have Jack Kirby's Mr. Miracle Artists Edition. So it follows. So the previous Artist Edition for New Gods, we do have this another classic of his with Mr. Miracle. So again, it's really meant to sort of replicate the feeling of looking over the artist's shoulders to explore their art in the way that they intended it or the way that they had drawn it originally, which is very nice, like the way that this is formatted. And I highly recommend looking into it for all the collectors out there. So that's
Very
it for the
nice.
news.
Yes, and that's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed it and it was useful for you. As I mentioned before, we're on social media, so you can follow us, find us on Facebook, on X, Twitter, on Instagram, and of course YouTube under at PRH International Comics. There'll be links in the description below. And that's it. Thank you. We hope you come back. Bye.
Bye, everyone.